Let's start it with an email, Lurch.
Okay. This one's from patron Cody Hobbs. Just a little back information for you guys, or I don't know what you want to call it, but it's kind of top secret, kind of inside information. That's what I'm trying to think, is that a lot of times you and I meet up for coffee in the mornings, do our administrative work. And a lot of that has to do with emails and social media and that kind of stuff. So I was working through the email and I saw this email from Cody and I started laughing. I was laughing so hard you kind of thought I lost my mind until I read you the email, and then you were laughing hard as well. So let me get to it. Cody says, I recently became a patron member because I love the podcast and the videos. I remembered you said that wearing the Lab t-shirt while on your bike was a guaranteed panty dropper. I'm here to say that must be a case-by-case basis, as I put it to the test. I received my shirt in the mail, put it on, and went out to the garage and got on the bike. This is where things went wrong. I hollered for my wife, and she came to the garage door and asked what I wanted. I said, well, what do you think? Admit it, you're turned on. She proceeded to laugh, spun around on her heels, and walked back in the house and reminded me not to forget the laundry. There was no panties dropped in the wearing of the shirt. It is a badass shirt, though, and I appreciate y'all sending it to me. Ride safe. Thank you, Cody. I really appreciate the email and the laugh.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Cody. lawabidingbiker.com/contact is how he left us that email. Also over on that same page is a voicemail. You can leave it right from your computer, microphone from anywhere in the world, or right from your smartphone. You just got to hit the little microphone on that page, and we'd love to hear your voice feedback. Love the emails, too. Thanks, Cody, for doing that. You want to know how to have a fresh smelling and squeaky clean butt before riding, Oscar? Well, I'm going to tell you how.
I never let you answer.
He doesn't, does he?
Get hooked up with Dude Wipes flushable wet wipes. Your butt will smell like a breath of fresh air. Like I relate it to a dozen roses or
a dozen mints, maybe.
Mints.
Oh, mints.
Yes.
What about mint roses?
Even better.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's not a joke, Oscar. He hasn't bought any yet, Matt.
He's going to, once he tries one, I'm sending him home with one of these travel ones.
Yeah. As long as we've had these and he's heard of them, he hasn't tried one. All right, Oscar.
Okay, I'm in.
You are. And nice. Coming out of the computer bag, the travel versions. Now,
it's just like a drug dealer. Give him a little sample.
Are going to make your, here's the deal. I know these are just wet wipes for your butt. And I know that you think some people think it's a joke. This is not a joke. Number one, I want to say you can head over to lawabidingbiker.com/fresh-butt. That's /fresh-butt, B-U-T-T, Lurch.
Okay.
Because you spell butt, B-U-T.
But you can. You can.
Fresh, but maybe not. I don't.
Just saying. /fresh-butt. No additional cost to you, but if you click through and make a purchase, we do get a small commission, and a lot of you have been buying them. All right? There's a reason for that. Not one complaint. It's not only going to make your ass fresher, you will have a better marriage, a better marital experience, if you will. Stay with me, Oscar. Stay with me. Oscar, stay with me.
He's having a hard time.
All right. So you come home late in the afternoon. It's been a long day. You're ready to just bend the old lady over, whatever. All right. We're politically correct here.
Bend the old lady over.
Nicely.
Roger.
Nicely, not roughly. Just maybe have her bend herself over. I don't know. However kids do it these days. All right.
You have to get a contract out and sign a consent contract.
Maybe there has to be consent. I don't know. All right. Anyways, but before you do that, she's tired of the way you smell late afternoon. So you do the smart thing and you go off by yourself before you even approach her. You grab a mint scented, 2 of them, in fact, 2. And you do a little mid-afternoon maintenance wipe. Clean the old arse. Now it smells like a mint. You're just a walking mint. Also, you give the little sack attention with the other one. Just the underside of the sack. You get all fresh, squeaky clean. You got a skip in your step. And you just impress the hell out of your wife, dude. And she just looks back at you and goes, all I can smell is mint, honey. Just,
I'm glad that our Friday evening could be here with us. Yeah.
Who doesn't want a happier wife?
Amen. Yeah, that's true.
I'll do anything, dude. Happy wife is a happy life.
Guys out there, this is not for you. It's for your wife.
Yes. Right. Right.
Basically, if you love your wife, you're going to have to get some dude wipes.
You will.
Head on over.
You will.
Fresh butt.
You will thank me. You will thank me. And I encourage you to write us an email at lawabidingbiker.com/contact with your dude wipes experience and or stories. Because there's a lot of them out there.
I might have one of those emails tonight.
There you go.
I'm gonna dude wipe tonight.
Please do.
Okay.
Let us know how that goes for you.
All right then.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Now we have used them on Louis, the studio dog, multiple times. Mm-hmm. He gets Klingons
or diarrhea,
and he gets his button gets a little brown. And we literally have cleaned his arse off with dude wipes. So they are great for pets. And what dog wouldn't like a minty fresh ass? Except after that, he won't stop licking it because he thinks it's a mint. It's a button mint.
And the other dogs in the neighborhood, thank you for that.
The other dogs too.
When they butt sniff, they're like,
and they can lick a mint.
Yeah,
they can lick the mint, dude. This is dumb.
Has this gone too far? Too far.
Okay, let's get back on track. I don't even know where I am. All right. Here's Oscar. He wants to go on a trip. He's on the Law Abiding Biker store on his computer. He's sitting there drinking a cup of coffee like he is right now. He's got his dude wipes. He's fresh, so he's good. He's sitting on his chair all comfy, and he realizes he's been obsessive about dirt bikes. He bought a dirt bike, and he's buying too many parts, but he needs this part from the Law Abiding Biker store before he goes on a trip. Bam, reaches in his pockets, nothing but lint, and a dude wipe that Lurch lent him. That's right.
Lint?
That
like
lent.
he wants it back.
I don't want it back.
Yeah.
Good catch.
That he gave him.
No, I gave it to him.
I actually would encourage you to give it back.
Uh-huh.
I would encourage you to give it back.
Please
do.
I'll save it.
But Oscar's like, filled with excitement. He's like, that's right. He hits buy now, and it doesn't matter because he can buy it right now knowing that he can pay in 4 equal payments interest-free, and he can have that part to him lickety-split and be on the way to his trip with a new part, happy as a clam. Because clams are happy. You want to ride longer? You tired of a sore and achy ass, Oscar? If your ass is
Take that
tired
as a yes.
and sore, achy ass, we don't want to know all the reasons why. But if it's because not a hard night at some fraternity.
Too far.
But if it's just because of riding motorcycles, then fix it with a high-quality butt buffer seat cushion. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Check out our lineup of butt buffer seat cushions. Oh, yeah, once you've used Rick Rack, you'll never go back. The ultimate motorcycle luggage rack solution. Forget those messy straps and bungee cords, Oscar. Go strapless with a Rick Rack quick attach luggage system and quality bag. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Get hooked up now. It's not that kind of strapless, Oscar.
I'm glad I could be here to be the object.
Anytime somebody comes who hasn't met in a while, I get a mood to just pick on them.
It's usually me, so thank you.
Lurch is happy today.
I am.
Lurch is like, God, I get a damn break. I love you, Oscar. Such a good sport. All right. Hey, Bikeaholics. 330 has a wide variety of innovative products for your Harley-Davidson and a brand new line for the all-new Honda Goldwing named Gold Strike.
I like gold.
Top quality, affordable chrome lighting and cover products. Zero Gold Strike are the motorcycle LED lighting innovators for CAN bus plug-and-play system compatibility. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Check out our full line of Zero 3D products. Here we go. That was just great information for you guys. Up front, just like that. Welcome back, you freaking bikeaholics. This is the podcast for the motorcycle majority, the big MM, also known as the
99%.
large. I am, we are, and in charge of the motorcycle scene more than any time in history. By being here, by listening, you're part of what we call the hashtag
Biker Revolution.
Oscar has just one question before we get started. What are you waiting for, bikeaholics? Mount up.
Let us take you on another wild ass ride.
Nice.
Nice.
Yes, finally.
One for Oscar.
Finally, I do something right today.
Welcome back. Ryan Erlacher here, your host of the Law Abiding Biker Podcast and your
High tech redneck.
There you go. He is in the house. Right there. It's been a minute.
Has been a minute, yeah.
We're actually on episode 2.
Yeah.
We're recording 2 today. And while we're talking about that, don't forget, all you patron members, we record episodes all the time. We don't do them all live. And just on these recorded ones, you're getting them months early. They will be uploaded into the back end, like Oscar's going to do later tonight, apparently.
With
after a wet wipe.
dude wipes, yeah.
Load the back. All right.
We got to unload the back.
Unload the back end.
We're
All
off track.
But nonetheless, we're going to upload these episodes into your Patreon accounts. You can listen right from there months before they ever come out in regular podcast format to the public.
Raw and pretty much unedited.
Very much so. We just kind of throw them in there. We don't do all the heavy editing, so you kind of get to hear a raw version. So, and you get it early. And so make sure you're checking your Patreon accounts. Get that Patreon app because you can listen right in there for your Patreon app for your smartphones. Or, of course, you can go on a desktop and listen there too. There you go. Lurch is here for second episode also. So
You rang?
Ooh, nice. I like the change up. Really like the change up. Now we've got an awesome topic for you guys today. It's going to be all about oil blowback in your Harley-Davidson air filter. Some hacks, solutions, opinions, whether you should worry about it, whether you should forget about it. If you do worry about it, what to do. We know about it, and it happens to everybody's bike in different levels, and we will break that down. We, like I say, know about it, but we also did some research, some solutions, maybe some parts, and things like that. We've got Oscar on hand for a reason, because as you guys know, he's very educated when it comes to motor engine stuff, and
and oils and things,
and the likes.
He's a lubrication expert.
Lubrication.
Might need that later tonight too.
What's the viscosity of spit?
Oh God,
Just curious.
With or without my dude wipe.
right, true. We send that in for a used oil analysis. Some spit.
Or the dude wipe.
Just send it. See what they say, dude. They just
Send it back to you.
They just, what the fuck is this? That's
Brush your teeth more. That's what they're going to say. Yeah.
brush your teeth more.
Is your oil clear?
You'll be fine.
Oh God. Now we're always pumping out videos on the YouTube channel, blowing up over there, pumping out videos faster than we can announce them here. I'll announce this one since it's, I'm more familiar with it here, but it's mastering a police motorcycle course on a Harley-Davidson, essentially what I did. We have to qualify several times a year. For those of you that are new, I am a full-time police motorcycle officer and do this full-time also. And so when we qualify, we have a specific course, a very technical course that we go through. I put a 360 cam up on it, so it's a very unique perspective. And I actually ride the entire official motorcycle police course that I have to qualify on. So head over there. And also make sure you're subscribed when you're over there, guys. We really need you to hit that subscribe button. We're still bumping up, and we're trying to hit that 200K subscriber mark. I think we're at 189 or 6 or 7.
I believe, last I looked, somewhere in there.
So hit that if you're not. If you're just do that for us, we really appreciate it. It's a way you can help us for free. We're blowing up over on also over on Instagram. We're really building over there. I love Instagram. It's a very clean platform. If you don't have an Instagram account, I strongly encourage you to get one. We're doing a lot of cool stuff over there. A lot of behind the scenes stuff that you won't see anywhere else. At Law Abiding Biker. Make sure you give a follow when you're over there. TikTok at Law Abiding Biker. Facebook at Law Abiding Biker, and of course, Twitter at Law Abiding Biker. And YouTube is youtube.com/Ryan Erlacher. And yeah, we appreciate it, but definitely doing a lot of stuff, a lot of behind the scenes. If you want to follow us, again, I love Instagram. It's probably the cleanest platform, a social media platform right now. So yeah, and yeah, a lot of fun stuff over there. Now, we appreciate our corporate sponsors up front. We love them. We work closely with them, but these folks are also direct reason and sponsors, considered sponsors. And the reason this podcast and all the episodes are coming to you after 10 freaking years and no plans on stopping serving you guys. And so we want to thank some of the following newest patrons.
Guy Gill of Olympia, Washington. Guy is a top tier patron. Austin Weber of Palmer, Alaska. Austin is a top tier patron. And Gary Provolt of Sun Valley, California. Gary's a top tier patron.
We got Jim Hawthorne of Diamond Springs, California, Bill Fisher of Annabella, Utah, and Billy Robinson of Fallon, Nevada.
lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. Pledge a certain amount per piece of content that we put out. No risk to you because you can put a monthly cap. There are a plethora of benefits for signing up, such as t-shirts and stickers. You get access to the private Facebook group, which is a troll-free zone. Truly nothing but bikers helping and connecting and supporting other bikers in there. You get access to podcasts early, live video broadcasts and chat, store coupon codes, premium videos up on request, and of course, access to those ride, meetup, and events. And I just want to give an extra thanks, especially this year as we go into 2023. Inflation is out of control. Groceries are out of control. Gas is high. People's budgets are stretched, and we know that. Our budget, too, right here at Law Abiding Biker Media is stretched, and we've felt it just with everything going on as a company. So by you guys, even, it just amazes me that with the tight budgets, we know we still have patron members signing up, appreciating what we're doing to help the biker community, and then maintaining our patron members that are maintaining. Now, this year is more important than ever. And so we appreciate you hanging on with us as we're all hoping that we can just make it through this stretch of difficult economic times. And we look to things to pick back up, of course, in the future. And those patronage and donations coming in from the patrons is really helping us a lot right now, as we can look at a steady income stream that we can kind of predict, to keep things going here. Again, we're just buckling down, and I just want to say, seriously, from the bottom of our hearts, amazing that you guys are continuing to support us, and we thank you so much, and continue looking forward to more patron members coming on, getting to meet you, and continuing on down the road. So there you go. Appreciate you very much, each and every one of you.
And I just want to give a special shout out to Guy Gill. I know Guy.
He was one of the ones that we announced signed up. Yep.
Mm-hmm. He works at the agency that I retired from, and years ago we both went through motor school together. He passed. I did not. I fell down and went boom too many times. But there's an exercise you do in motor school. It's called Follow the Leader, and they start pretty easy and then kind of work your way up. But after a day or two, they start getting kind of wild with some of the stuff, and taking you up and down curbs and gravel and dirt roads. And if you have never done that on a street bike, it's a little bit challenging. And this particular day, we got around to the back of the drive course where there is a steep grass hill. It had been raining. It was slick. The instructor went through the ditch, and water, of course, splashed up, and then he went up a hill. And I was about seventh in line, 7th or 8th. There's about 9 of us. The first guy didn't even make it through the ditch. He just went in and crashed. That's
awesome.
The second, third, it's like everybody just kept getting a little further. The second guy made a little further than the third guy. And when it was my turn, I started going up, and man, I was almost there, man. I was smiling. I could feel my face, like just in a big grin. I'm there. And then all of a sudden the back end started kind of slipping back and forth. And what do you think I did?
You fall down?
Well, before that, what do you think I did? I gave it more gas.
Yeah.
I gave it more gas. And then it slid out worse and went out to I think it slid out to the right, kind of pulled my groin a little bit.
You did the natural instinct.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so there were 2 guys, and one of them was a guy that made it up to the top. And I asked him, I said, how the hell, what did you do? How'd you make it up there? He goes, I've rode dirt bikes all my life. And he said, when you get up there and if you start losing traction, don't give it more gas. That's obviously not going to help. Grab the clutch. Don't screw with your throttle. Keep your throttle right where it is, and just grab a clutch, let it slip a little bit, and you'll go right up. Mm-hmm. So it was the next day or the day after that they did it again, and I got up to about the same spot. It started to slip, and I just grabbed that clutch and went right up over the top. And then I was really smiling. So it was quite an accomplishment. So thanks, Guy, for that advice. I appreciate it. And thanks for being a patron.
Thank you for signing up as a patron. That's great. That's great to have Guy on board there. Thanks so much for your support. All right, so let's dive into it. I know about this. I've been very busy, and me and you researched this pretty heavily, Lurch. and I was all up to speed on it as of 2 weeks ago. And then we didn't do the podcast, and then now it's been.
Why didn't we do the podcast?
Was that the day you were sick? I think. Yeah,
Maybe.
you said you couldn't do it, and you were sick.
I think there was 2 reasons. The first
Oscar
one
had a new dirt bike in his head because he had a new dirt bike in his truck, and he completely forgot about us.
That is the first time I've ever
It is, and it's fun. Yeah, it was funny. We were like, whatever. We had plenty of stuff to do.
I'm never going to live it down, am I?
And the second time was, we were both getting over colds, and Ryan
right.
like, no, we got to
True.
reschedule. So,
And so
it's
my
been a little
point
while.
being, I'm going to chime in here the best I can, but you may be a little more technically savvy on it because
Oscar in
I'm trying.
particular.
I'm basically looking at it for the first time I'm on it as far as all the notes we did. But we'll get through it, and Oscar's on hand. And so why don't you? I'm going to let you do most of the talking, Lurch. You can start on this whole issue, and then I'll kind of chime in where I feel necessary.
Well, this is one of those topics that, we come across, and we want to kind of break it down because a lot of companies are pretty good at showing you a Harley problem and selling you their solution. So we'll get down to whether it's really an issue or not. First of all, what we're talking about is the oil blowback. A lot of people call it. The correct terminology is what again, Oscar?
Crankcase ventilation.
There you go.
Right.
That's a technical term
That's
for
the
it.
technical term from a certified mechanic.
Yeah, not me.
So it's your crankcase ventilating, and if you got oil pressure built up, it will spit oil out through the breather bolts. And on your stock setup on your Harley, it's going to dump it into your filter area.
Into the intake.
Yeah, and some of it will get vaporized and get sucked in to your intake, and you'll burn it through your motor.
So I'm going to back you up because I want to take this a little bit slower.
Oh, okay.
Because if I didn't know anything about motors or engines, I'd have no idea what that all means. So, why don't you explain a crank and what's happening and where those channels go and how it ends up there, kind of give a little more of a mechanical explanation of that.
And Oscar's the gearhead, so I will defer to him. He can put it in much better terminology than I can.
I was just thinking as I get older, will the dude wipes help me with my personal blowback?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Okay, good. I was just checking because
I'll help you clean up your blowback.
That's what I meant. Well,
it won't stop it.
Won't stop it.
Damn it. There's no hacks for old guy blow. Oh, never mind. Sorry.
But when you blow back, it will at least smell like a mint.
It's good to get off track.
A massive cloud of mint.
Did you say you want me to explain the crank?
Well, let's just say I'm sitting here and what Lurch just said, and the crank and oil and it'll end up in your filter. I don't even understand that. I do. I'm just saying there are a lot of listeners, they listen because
they don't
we got to get them to why that's happening and what, essentially it doesn't have to be crazy, but at least give them an idea of what we're talking about here.
The pistons are attached to a big rod that turns. That's the crank, and the crank is attached to the transmission in a car
at the bottom of the motor.
At the bottom of the motor, and that's in most mechanical things. The bottom of the motor is where the oil's stored, and so the oil lubricates the crank and the rods, and then the by various means. So your motor is about like 99.9% sealed, and so as it gets hot, any fluids expand and build pressure, and so engine manufacturers have to vent that pressure somewhere, or if you don't vent the pressure, you blow seals. So the
piston seals.
Right? No, you like the main seal, the seal between the transmission and the motor, or a head gasket, or valve cover seals. Anything where there's two surfaces mated together and there's some kind of sealing material, those would blow because pressure just keeps building forever until the motor shuts off and cools. Right.
Right.
That good?
Yeah, no, that's why we have you here.
Okay.
My pressure builds a lot too.
Yeah.
And if I don't take care of it,
it blows.
It blows.
It blows.
Yeah.
And I'm relating to that.
But your rod's, it's way tinier.
Right.
It's a little rod.
My rod.
And so, and your
blows.
seals, but your seals are weaker. And so
I am 50. That's right. I don't blow as quick as I used to, but I still blow.
The dude wipes, you can clean where your seals blow.
That's dumb.
Why?
But no, this is why we have you. You're actually explaining it very well before I completely
that's the new
got
thing.
Childish again.
That's dumb. I'm going to use that. I'll give you credit. Hey, that's dumb. Ryan said that's dumb. So in a car, venting the crankcase is called a positive crankcase ventilation valve. Everyone knows there's PCV valves. They're on the top of the valve cover. It moves up and down when a certain pressure happens. That little valve moves up. It vents the gases into the valve cover, and depending on how the motor's designed, or it vents it out into the engine block. But
just on the engine block?
I mean, there's not much. It's just it's a little tiny amount. I mean, it's really not much. And in a car,
I'm surprised they don't. Yeah. Anyways,
I think most of them now probably vent. Well, if it's on the valve cover, it wouldn't. The valve cover's got oil in it.
Right. That's what I mean. That would be the reasonable place.
Yeah.
Just putting oil back in oil.
Some of them have a tube that runs somewhere, but whatever. It's a long distance. So by the time the oil gets up there, it's really not that much.
Okay.
A bike, the crank and the motor are closer together. And so like our modern diesel trucks have a big filter. So the filter is important because that's one of the hacks. So like my diesel truck, the crankcase vents into this huge filter because the EPA, we can't just vent it out
to the air. And we don't want to vent
the environment, they call it,
that much oil back into the turbo. So it goes into a filter that catches the fluid, and then it drains it back into the valve cover, back into the crank. Anyway.
So it goes in the filter and then it drains it back into the valve cover?
Right, because the filter catches most of the fluid.
Tracking.
And then it has a release on top. So by the time it goes out into the environment, it's just air.
Okay.
And the oil's stuck in the filter.
I got
It
you.
drains back down.
Makes sense.
So in a bike, Harley, I don't know, some of the other manufacturers probably do something very similar. Harley vents the crankcase into the intake. So the banjo bolts that Matt started talking about, there's two tubes that come up out of the crankcase. They go to the banjo bolts, little holes in them, right into the intake.
Yep.
It's designed to be that way.
And those banjo bolts are hollow.
Yes.
And that's so they're not only bolting the air cleaner on, they're also a channel
For air.
and
oil.
for breathing.
Yep.
For the crank to breathe, right?
Exactly. And so the M8s are venting it a little farther into the intake. So like my old 13.
Yeah, the M8s look like they're pushing it right into the intake versus
And-
the older bikes, it looks like they're pushing it closer to the filters.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
The air intake, right?
Yeah, they're a little longer. Well, they're pointed different, shaped different. You look at the new bikes and it looks like it's really aimed at the intake for sure.
Trying to push the oil into the combustion chamber
Right.
instead of letting it be sucked in with.
Or allowing it to get into the filter and eventually drip out of the filter. I think it's probably the frickin' EPA. They want to make sure that it's going back in the motor.
They're just trying to suck it right in the air intake, you know.
Well, maybe. I think enough people complained about it that it would make sense that they're forcing it farther into the intake. Because a lot of people had that problem. Because they overfilled the crankcase with oil. But a lot of people have that problem and it just drips. Just fills up your air filter, which then attracts more crap, which just plugs up your air filter faster. So maybe, I don't know, I can't say why Harley moved it, but they moved it a little bit farther in. Cool. It's designed to be that way. It's nothing's broken.
Right. Yeah.
No.
So this has been going on for a long time.
It's not a sign of a bigger problem potentially.
No.
Okay. Just asking for the audience
Yeah,
out there if they're seeing it, or if they got an older bike, like 14s and 15s like ours, and if they're seeing it drip out of their oil filter. Not necessarily
out of the air filter.
Sorry, yeah, the air filter, not necessarily a sign of a bigger problem.
All the ones that I saw do it had too much oil in the sump. And so like I always left my 13 and my 06 half quart low. Well, when you change the oil, you don't get all the oil out. So you change the oil, there's a quarter quart left floating around the motor, and then you dump 4 quarts or whatever it calls for. You dump exactly all of it in there. Well, then it's a quarter to half quart overfilled, which is not a big deal because that's why you have crankcase ventilation. But then you have the fluid's higher to the vent, and there's more fluid to vaporize, which pushes more fluid out the crankcase vents and into the intake and into the air filter.
So on your dipstick, you've got that acceptable range. You don't necessarily have to be at the top of that. You can be down a little bit.
Right.
And that's what we all do around here is we run ours just we don't run our oil low, but we run a little bit lower on that acceptable range, which reduces the pressure and reduces the amount of oil that comes out of that those breathers.
Yes, that's
one solution to it.
Yeah, not yet. Yeah, I worded that. Matt is so smart. He's very good. He's a good-looking young man, but he's also very smart. He uses big words and stuff.
He does. So just a reminder, guys, if you're new to the podcast or YouTube channel, speaking of routine maintenance and oil changes on Harleys, we do have very popular, there are some of our premium videos. 95% of our stuff is for free, but we do sell some premium videos to help keep the lights on here. And we do have a maintenance and oil change video, and the reason I'm bringing it up is because it's exactly what we're going over. We have it for pre-Milwaukee 8 motors and then Milwaukee 8 motors. And you can get any of them over at lawabidingbiker.com/buy videos. Lawabidingbiker.com/buy videos is where all our premium videos reside. And you can get both of those. That's basically everything that the dealership does. It's a routine lube oil filter, and safety inspection. We show you how to go inspect brakes and all the other safety inspections that you should do, and belt tension. And again, it's teaching you what Harley charges you $350, $400 for the price of that video. You can use it over and over and over and do your own maintenance. And part of that is exactly what we're talking about. And we show you in there is, you never really, once we show you how to drain the oil, you're never really draining it all. And so we're careful about how much we fill it back up. And then we fire the bike to cycle it through and then check it again. And if you need to add a little, you can, but you never want to overfill. And that's, you could overfill to a certain point, but it's going to create a mess.
Yeah.
You're going to have way more blowback and drippage, and nobody wants the drip.
No one wants the drip.
The drip's a bad thing.
Even with the dude wipes, the drip is not that great.
Correct. They'll soothe it a little bit, but anyways,
I don't know.
That's dumb. That's dumb.
Yeah. I was going to say, I don't know if we mentioned it, but this topic came about by us looking at our Law Abiding Biker members only Facebook page. That's for our patron members.
Thank you for a reminder.
And Mark Arnold was the one that posted something about this. And so
was that recent? It's come up a bunch over the years.
It's actually a couple of years ago that he made the post. But when we see things like this that are good for the podcast, we drop it in a little list. And so that's
get to it when we get to it.
And knowing that you were going to be on today talking about dirt bikes, this was a perfect one for you too, because you're our oil and motor expert.
And Mark Arnold from Canada, patron member. Just a little shout out to the private Facebook group. If you guys aren't in there, become a patron member and get in there. The reason is we're not answering all the questions. In fact, the patron members answer more questions than us in there because you have very, very smart mechanical people like Mark Arnold in there.
He knows a ton.
He is super smart.
Yes.
And he helps guys and gals in there all the time with questions. And it's not just him. There's others too. I'm just mentioning him because he actually posted this subject. But get in there, guys. It is nothing but bikers helping bikers in there with all. It's the best forum you'll ever see because it's troll-free and it's monitored. And you can actually find stuff unlike those just ugly, nasty forums with people chewing at each other. And there's no stupid question in our Facebook group. We wouldn't allow it. People are there to help you regardless of where you're at with your knowledge level of motorcycles. It's not just maintenance in there too. It's people connecting and making rides all over and becoming friends and all kinds of stuff in there. Anyways, so thanks. As always, Mark, we love having you part of the community. He's a moderator in there too.
And he's done builds.
Yeah.
And so
he posts them in there.
Yeah, he does. He's speaking from firsthand knowledge, not regurgitating stuff he's read. So,
yep.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's do this. We'll kind of keep this in a certain format, but so now we understand the problem.
Yep.
And so basically the problem before we do this is you're going to get oil in your air filter. And if you can get drippage down the side of your bike and pipes, and then we're going to go.
And it's being pulled into your intake and your motor's burning it.
Right. I'm not sure that's a problem.
That's a discussion.
And that's exactly what I was going to get to.
Yep.
That's why I'm pausing there because I was going to move into that.
Hey, bikeaholics, searching for new and exciting motorcycle products? 03D has the products you dream about for your bike. Check out their wide variety of innovative products for Harley-Davidson and Honda Goldwing motorcycles. Zero 3D's got your back with chrome, black parts, lighting, and other comfort products. No modifying, cutting, grinding, or welding for an easy installation. That equals less time installing and more time riding. Zero 3D has a design team with over 40 years of experience with a passion for design and innovation. Zero and Goldstrike are the motorcycle LED lighting innovators for CAN bus plug-and-play system compatibility. They pride themselves on great customer service. Got a question? Get in touch with them via email at sales@zero3d.com or give them a call at 715-808-0027. Check out your local Harley or Honda dealership and ask for Zero or Goldstrike parts. A new leader has emerged, so check out Zero 3D's custom line of Goldstrike products for the all-new Honda Goldwings. Better yet, help support us and head on over to the Law Abiding Biker store and check out our full line of Zero 3D products.
Very nice.
That might be my first clean take. I usually screw up somewhere.
It might be.
there.
It was magical.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
I felt good. I thought about it 3/4 of the way through. I'm like, oh man, I'm going to nail this one, and I almost tripped up.
Oh,
Dude,
man.
That's impressive. After 10 years, you nailed it.
Practice makes perfect, my friend.
Hey, we're not here to judge.
Sorry, that was just hanging out there. That was low-hanging fruit right there, bro.
That's a long read there. I usually stumble somewhere.
Yeah, I
there.
know. All right, so mention what you mentioned. So as we're looking at it, and then we'll do a round table here because I have my opinions. Obviously, oil, if you want to consider this a problem, oil in your filter, especially if you overfill, and then the drip. You could possibly get the drip and get oil on your pipes and shit. And what's the other part, Lurch? To explain that, I understand it, but explain it to the audience, sucking it back in your motor and all.
Well, and that seems to be a concern that we'll debate it and whether or not it's something really to worry about it. But also, your intake
master debate it.
Your intake is sucking in that oil into your motor and then you're burning it.
It's a sucking intake.
Yeah.
Sucks.
So you've got oil on the wrong side of the piston. You've got oil on the top side in the combustion chamber instead of underneath. So potentially it could be, fouling your top of your piston. And when you go on
Piston.
when I went online doing some research on this, of course, the companies that sell kits to fix this show you a piston that's just covered with all kinds of shit on top.
Oh, yeah.
And they say it's because of that. And so I don't know.
Dude wipes will make piston wipes pretty soon.
Oh, yeah.
This is I wish I came up with this little kit because it's a perfect
Piston
thing.
wipes.
This is the perfect thing.
Yeah.
It's fairly reasonably priced. And so it's not some high dollar item. The kit to go around and either put it into a catch can or vent it to the environment. It's not terribly expensive, and all you got to do is tell, not just a Harley guy, but a motorcycle guy or a gearhead, hey, this little thing might be causing you a problem. We got the solution for it. I really wish I would have came up with it. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's even got me considering doing it on my bike, and I may do it just for content, so we have a video.
Yes.
Cool.
And we're going to break that down a little bit more after this discussion. So don't worry. I know we mentioned kits. We're going to break all this down and what it actually is and some things you can do if you determine that this is a problem. And that's where we're at right now in our discussion.
He said if you determine.
So I'm going to give
Depends on who you listen to.
I'm going to give you my opinion and then we'll round table and each of you give your opinion.
Okay.
Do not base your opinion on mine because I'm not changing mine. All right.
At least you called it up front.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Consider your opinion, right?
Yes, consider
it. Take it under advisement.
That's dumb.
I'll take it under advisement, except for Oscar's. So
I would listen to him more.
I would too.
The two of us
Actually,
idiots when it comes to internal motor works.
So here's the deal. I'm going to go on a little rant here. Here's the deal. I hear about this, and this is nothing new. And yet guys are still freaking talking about this. Now, I love Harley owners, motorcycle owners in general, or whatever. It could be boat guys, whatever. I think a lot of guys, not me, but they worry too much about all this little stuff. And if you're doing this or you're worried about it, so I don't want people to think I'm trashing you for that. This is just my opinion. I say whatever makes you happy. If this is going to bother you, if this is going to bug you and it's a big deal and you're going to sleep better at night like Oscar after he bought his dirt bike finally, then by all means do it. It's your bike. Have fun, farkle it, tweak on it, whatever. But I will just say that I absolutely think this whole I don't think it's a problem at all. I think it's a knee-jerk reaction. This has been going on a long time. So if you just fill your bike right, you're not going to get a ton of blowback. If it worries you that you have a little drip after a long trip on your pipe, again, if that kind of stuff bothers you, then by all means, have fun, fix it. But I don't think this is a regular rider out there is, I don't give two shits about it. And I have multiple Harleys and I've done nothing to them. I just let the bike run like it's supposed to run, and I just ride it. It's oil. It's a very, Oscar already mentioned, this is such a minute amount of oil. By the time this could possibly do anything to your piston, you're going to have other problems, and you're going to be rebuilding that motor anyways. These companies, which we'll talk about, do these graphs and they dyno test and, oh, look, when there's no oil blowback, we're getting this much more. I'm like, are you freaking, I get it. They're trying to sell this stuff. Does it affect horsepower a little bit? Maybe. I ride a touring bike cross country. I'm not going to notice that. So my whole deal on this is if you want to do it, have fun. We'll talk about it, going to do a video on it because I know it does bug, and some people really bugs them if they have a drip of oil on their pipe. And I get that. That's fine. People like to keep their bikes looking good. But overall, I just think that's the way it was designed. It's the way it's done. The bikes run fine. If you didn't know about it and you're hearing it for the first time, have you noticed your bike running bad because of it? No. And most people sell their Harleys long before this becomes an issue anyway. All right. That's my rant. I just think it's a whole bunch of talk and forum talk and internet talk over something that is it's a non-issue to me. What say you, Oscar?
We'll let him go last because he's the most intelligent about this
I want
stuff.
to comment on that because that was
go ahead.
a real rant.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
I want to comment on that.
I've been waiting to rant on this.
That was a rant. I mean,
pisses me off.
At least you're strongly opined. Like,
right,
you're not spineless on that.
I'm not hiding my feelings.
Yeah. Are you down off the table?
I am.
Oh, yeah, good. Okay. Do you want to break it down for the public? Because he was all, it's not a problem. And you're all, how do you know?
That's the thing. How do you know? And there's so much information out there. Some people say it's not.
Because your bike would be in the shop if it was a problem.
You look at, and that's in the forums in particular, but even our Facebook, there was a group, there was a little bit of discussion back and forth, and most people said there's a lot of opinions on it, one way or the other.
I want proof.
I didn't know it was a problem, and I've never had a problem with my bike because of it. So do I think it's a true problem? No. And there's an easy solution. We've already talked about it. Just don't overfill your bike. In fact, you can run just a smidge under recommended. So
You'll still get some, but not a ton.
Yeah, especially on long rides. Mm-hmm. Stay within that optimal mark on your dipstick. But there is an easy way to keep it from coming out. Again, do I think it's a problem if you get a little bit in there? Probably not. But here's what I will say. Is there a chance that it may extend the life of your engine, or it may run a little better without the oil in it? Most likely. Most likely, right?
I don't know that there's any proof of that. Is it
noticeable? Will it make your engine last a lot longer?
No.
I don't know, but it could make I'll say it could make.
It could. So you're theorizing.
Of course. Okay. You're theorizing that
no, I have
not
proof.
A problem, right?
Because nobody's taking their bike in for this problem.
I wish we had this
I'm not
on
theorizing.
live camera. Because I'm like, what?
No, this is great. I love this stuff.
I think you got some theory built into your hypothesis.
There is no.
Give me a case.
Give me a case where somebody, I haven't heard this. And I've
for everybody.
Well, I've read. I'm just saying, look at the forums. Look at everywhere. Not one person has told us out of all the comments and everything we're reading that they had to take their bike to the shop because they had too much blowback and their pistons had oil on the top of them. Not a one.
It's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm not saying.
Find it for me.
I'm not saying it's necessarily a problem. What I'm saying is, could it make an improvement? I believe that it can.
You could get a quarter horsepower.
Yeah, minute, absolutely.
Yeah, 900 pound bike.
But here's the thing: you get gear heads, and a minute here and a minute there is a big deal.
Yeah, if you're running race bikes.
No, true.
I'm touring.
Does it need to be done? Absolutely not. But if it was,
I like this. No, and it's good. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Absolutely.
This is part of the conversation.
If it's done, who cares?
Yep.
But I'm on the fence. I think the only reason I'll do it is just for content for the channel.
That's why we're going to do it.
Show them how to do it. And we'll get into it a little bit later here. But there's, all kinds of different intakes and different hacks to put these kits on. But that's where I stand. I wouldn't do it if we didn't have this platform and didn't need the content. I'd just leave it the way it is.
Yep.
So is it fair to say hacked off hacked on.
Will.
I just want to throw that out.
Yeah, I'm wishy-washy on it. But
And and it is
I'm
cheap.
over here.
We're going to talk about the fixes. It is cheap and it would be fun to do.
You can get really cheap if you just buy the part yourself
Right.
versus a kit.
Listen, okay, let's put ourselves like you do this all the time. I don't know where your rant came from.
Yes, you do.
But
that's what I do.
Let's put ourselves
I'm a podcast host.
in the motorcycling public. I remember when I got my first Harley and I looked at it. It was the sunshine.
It's
down.
got special mechanics.
It does.
Sent from God to work on them.
It does. And I'm like, where are those mechanics? I had no idea. So if you have no idea and you're like, the stuff's coming out of the air filter, that can't be good. Or someone tells you.
Yeah, you would assume if you didn't know, that's not good.
Yeah, that's not
Oil's
good.
supposed to be on the inside of the bike.
Or some guy goes, hey, if you get a bunch of oil like that vapor in your motor and it builds up on the piston, it increases the compression, which will increase the heat. And at some point, the piston will melt because your bike can't handle it because it's not water cooled. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's totally legit.
Oh, yeah.
That's totally legit.
If it got that far.
If it got that far.
It
Okay.
never will.
But someone goes, they have no idea. They
Right.
freak out because they don't know. Oh, how about this? Buy the oil change video, learn about your bike.
There you go.
And then you go, okay, this doesn't matter. How does it matter? If you're really freaking out about it, pull a spark plug. Because the oil, if you get enough of it, will start to coat the spark plug. I know that because I had blow by, which is where the piston rings don't seat. Oil comes up past the piston rings, starts to coat the piston and the spark plug. Pull the spark plug and it's got crust shit on it.
Yeah, now you're burning oil for sure.
You're burning
Right.
oil. It's the same process, but in greater amounts.
Perhaps some white smoke coming out of your exhaust.
I did
too.
not.
Not yet.
I
huh?
did never
not
did.
that far.
No, I was burning a quart or two every 700 miles, and it was not coming out the exhaust.
Wow.
So anyway,
Oscar was trying to make it into a 2-stroke. He was just mixing his gas after
just
that.
dumping it back in. It's fine. It's fine. If it really freaks you out, pull your spark plug. Don't look at the color, but look and see if there's buildup on it. That's the easiest way to check.
Right.
It theoretically, could you get a ton of oil in there? Yes. Could you raise the compression with the burnt oil? Because oil burns,
Right.
gas ignites. Gas explodes, oil burns. So you're mixing different. The reason that they say that it makes a difference is because the oil changes the stoichiometric ratio of the air fuel mixture.
Yeah.
Causing the
What he said.
it does it's minute, but it does. It changes the rate at which the
Right.
gasoline ignites, reducing, depending on the timing, you don't have a complete burn. Okay, that's really minute. Mostly it'll coat the plug and then it'll cause a spark. It'll close the gap so you won't get a complete burn because you won't have the complete spark. But if it's that bad, if you're getting that much crankcase ventilated oil, you have a big
That's what
problem.
I'm saying.
A huge problem. Like 2 quarts over, you poured in 7 quarts instead of 5 or whatever. Mm-hmm. So if you really buy the oil change video, learn how to change your own oil, which shows you about your bike, and then pull a spark plug. If you're freaking out before you buy anything, pull the spark plugs and look at them. Check the gap and look and see if there's crust on there. I mean, I understand like people go, oh gosh, oil's dripping from my air filter, and they freak out because they know nothing about their bike.
Right.
If you know about your bike and you can work on it, then you know it's not a big deal. So that's a gentle way to rant.
No, it's good.
I wanted to model that for you because someone right now is upset. And I'm
You
like,
got to rant.
you don't have to.
Thank you for modeling the
People,
way.
people love the rants.
This is the way.
Leading the way.
It's just theatrics, bro.
Oh, it is?
theatrics.
It's on purpose?
Yeah. Haven't you heard things that piss me off?
Did I ruin it?
I do the things that piss me off and all kinds of stuff, dude.
I did one on dandelions. Pissed me off.
It gets my blood flowing. Yeah, you did one too. Gets your blood flowing.
Oh,
Makes
does.
you feel
Feels
good.
Feels
Does it?
good. Yeah.
You can't keep all that in, bro. You're going to go nuts.
I mean,
You can't keep it in.
I'm blonde. I forget.
Yeah.
Like in 10 minutes what I was pissed off about. Oh,
So-
so I can't rant. But anyway,
Yeah, no, that was a good. You ranted.
a little bit.
now-
You just
And
don't know
gentle
that you
rant.
ranted.
And now, your opinion though, is it a problem?
No.
Okay.
Should
Could it-
most riders, an average rider out there, give 2 shits about this, or just buy our video and just make sure you don't overfill your oil and just ride?
I mean, it depends on how committed Matty is to this because he's bigger than me. So if he's really committed and he's bigger than me and he kicks my ass, then
I
I'm going
talk
to
him
answer
down
what he
daily,
wants, but
he
he doesn't get mad.
It's easy to talk him down.
I wouldn't worry about it ever.
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
Could it make an improvement though? Albeit minute. Could it make an
Oh,
improvement?
we're hanging. He's
committed
He's got
to
his
it.
claw
He
on
is
the
committed.
branch. He's
He
just
does.
nothing left but claws. He's almost fallen off it, but he's just going to grasp for that last branch.
Because he's He wants the parts. He's like, shiny.
See, and if that's the reason, I'm all for it. I say anybody doing it. We're going to talk about it. It's super cheap. It's easy to do. And that's half the fun is wrenching on your bike. You could actually make it look kind of cool. You can get, anyways, we'll talk about that. So if that's the reason, but
Maddie,
I don't want to
be angry, bro.
The regular riders.
Are you mad, bro?
No.
Okay.
Can it make a difference?
In what?
I don't know. And just cleaner running motor. No oil in the top.
It's all about the environment for Lurch. He's one of those.
No, not at
all.
all.
Oh, yeah, dude. I've seen you.
Tree hugger.
He is a tree hugger. He was on treehugger.com earlier this morning. I saw him.
I grew up digging a hole and putting your used motor oil in. I mean,
I didn't even dig a hole. We threw it on our gravel. It helped coat the driveway.
Yeah.
Seriously. That's
Yeah,
not
so
a joke.
no dust.
Yeah,
So
that's what me and my dad did. Yeah. No dust environment.
Could it make a difference? Practically or theoretically?
both. Give me both.
We're not talking theories here.
Practically, no.
It's too small of an amount.
Yeah.
If your bike's running properly and you're not overfilled, it's too small.
You'd never practically know.
Okay. I'll accept that.
Nice. Good conversation. These are fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're a regular rider out there, that's what we're trying to do with this podcast is really give you the facts of it. So if you want to do it, again, my rant is just for fun, guys. I'm certainly not putting anybody down that has done it or is going to do it. It's your bike. Have fun with it. Do what you want.
Absolutely.
If it makes you feel better or, you don't want that drip of oil in your pipe, I get it. I have no problem with that. The rant's just for fun. There you go. You heard it from 3 different people. So yeah, if you're just a regular rider and you just this isn't a stressful thing for you, or you don't want to deal with it. Well, there's only one thing you need to do. And that's start your bike back up and just go frickin' ride and don't worry about stuff. And you're going to be, this is not a problem. You're going to be just fine. All right. We got lots more to talk about. We're going to talk about some of the kits if you do want to do this or it is a concern of yours, and also some of the parts you can buy and different things. You could actually, make somewhat of a cool looking thing out of this if you wanted. There are some good options out there.
And I'll put some links in the show notes with the kit to the kits and the podcast article.
Are you searching for the easiest and quickest? Wait a minute. Am I supposed to read that? No, I'm good. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Oh, yeah, good. That's good.
You just took like 10 seconds to start.
Well, I got to prepare. Before you so rudely interrupted, I was going to ask you if you were searching for the easiest and quickest detachable luggage system for your motorcycle. Because Rick Rack has just what you're looking for. Forget all of those frustrating straps and bungee cords that can come loose and slap the crap out of your paint.
Slap your paint.
Check out one of Rick Rack's awesome quick attach strapless luggage rack systems. This father and son team designed something really special that you can't find anywhere else. Yep. And they ride, so they truly understand the needs of bikers. The Rick Rack quick attach system is strong, like Lurch, durable, like me, and secure with a lockable system, like me. Also, check out their full line of quality touring bags to accompany your quick detach system. Once you use a Rick Rack, you'll never go back. What are you waiting for, bikeaholics? Head over to the Law Abiding Biker store and check out our full line of Rick Rack systems and bags at lawabidingbiker.com/store.
Rick Rack.
/store.
I love it when you do that. I think it was Corey that he did that to one time to one of the our guests. Because you guys expect Ryan or I to do the host
and we just point at him.
So I love it when I think it was Corey you did that too. It was pretty funny.
Yeah. I didn't know if I was
because you're not ready. You're not prepared. You're like, what?
I want to read the first line. Oh, that's just the lead in for us. I can't read that part.
Mm-hmm. No, you read it.
Whatever I want.
Yeah.
I'm American.
I'd rather you not.
Nice. You did a nice job. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to dive into if you are or something you do want to do. We do have some options here for you, and we'll try to explain it mechanically the best we can because this is audio, not visual. But I will say up front that we love doing projects around here. And,
absolutely.
Part of the podcast, the reason is experience and learning, and we can pass things on to you guys. And so we probably are going to do a video on the YouTube channel with different the problem and then a much more succinct look at it, and some of the solutions and some of the different options you have, because we will talk here. Some of the bikes, different years are just a bit different, but it'll be a more universal video to give you options on how you want to deal with this issue that clearly is not a problem. No, but it'll be fun. It'll be a fun project. And Lurch he's had the drip for years, and he'll finally be free of the drip.
Oh, he won't be free of the drip. He's just going to put the drip somewhere else.
Right.
Yeah, it's either going to be vented to the environment or vented into a catch can or vented into a filter.
I think environmental venting is the way to go. No, I think it's the way to go these days.
Well, but in the can, you don't want to deal with your drip twice.
It's
true.
Yeah, it is like you said. It's such a minute amount that from my research, guys that have these filter ones, they go hundreds of miles, thousands of miles, where they really see any real build up on the filter and have to clean the filter. Same with the catch can. So if you choose to invent it to the environment, let's say you're on a closed racetrack or something, and you decide you want to vent it to the environment.
Yeah,
it's not like you're going to have quarts of oil spewing out and getting on your rear tire. It's not that amount. It's as you've said many times, it's a drip.
Yes. Now, I will start this because I do have experience with catch cans. I had an 05 Wide Glide. Mm-hmm. And
you also had a mustache.
Oh, yeah,
a nice one, dude.
It was kind of a porn stash.
Yeah, it was a porn stash. That's why I had to bring it up.
Yeah.
It's the flavor saver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So my 05 Wide Glide tricked that bitch out. And I got stage 1, but I didn't do the Harley. I wanted the, is it Wimmer or Weimer? Wimmer?
I always call it Wimmer, but
Wimmer.
It could be either.
I'm not sure.
Or either.
I did a Wimmer, and it's a, what do they call the ones? Like
it's that 90 degree
forced air kind of deal.
Mm-hmm. Look cool, but if it rains, they tend to get wet, and then it's hard to get air into your motor.
So I put one of those on there. Now, because my 05 Wide Glide, what I had done now is had to take out the stock hoses that blew it back into the regular stock filter.
It's a different plate, and so now your filter's out is not covering the plate and covering the banjo bolts. Now you've got they're exposed.
Correct.
So you have to come up with a way to catch that blowback.
Yes, and so this Wimmer 90 degree air intake that I had a solution for it. And so they had 2 that come off the banjo bolts right underneath there. And it really looked cool. It looked like it was actually designed to just look cool, but it served a function. Mm-hmm. And so it looked like 2 little pistons, 2 little chrome pistons. Well, inside those 2 little chrome pistons were 2 little filters. Mm-hmm. So, and I would ride, and we would ride like to Spokane and back on hot days. I wouldn't change them often enough. And my whole side of my bike would have oil all over it if I didn't change those often. You could just clean them out, really, is what I never actually changed them. I would just soap and water and get the oil out of them and put them back in. They lasted quite a while, but on those longer trips and hot days, maybe they needed to be a little bit bigger. But it was a really cool look, yet functional. So with some of those, you're going to have to do that. If you're completely interrupting the system that Harley's has set up, you're going to end up with aftermarket catch cans, we'll call them. So that's my experience with them.
And then one of the kits that I'm going to put a link to in the show notes is that. It's through J&P Cycles, and it's 2 catch cans that look like pistons. So
nice.
But they would go.
Is that one you're looking at?
It's that one right there, yeah. So, but again, it depends on your type of backing plate that you have and whether or not now your breather bolts are exposed.
Well, let's dive in deeper to that since you're on it. This is where you're going to take over because I know we researched this, but you researched this a bit more. As far as like mine, we were looking at it was a little bit different. They had the angle channel. So start breaking this stuff down. Oscar, jump in on any of this.
Well, your stock backing plate is quite large, and the
backing plate by your backing plate for your air filter.
Air filter, right?
Yeah, so it connects to the intake, and it's quite large, and it actually.
That's what she said.
Covers
your backing plate was large. I don't know
just
if that's
the
a
large
compliment.
part.
Oh, just large.
Clean up my technical terms here, Oscar, if I don't quite nail it, but your breather bolts are housed within that backing plate.
Yes.
And your filter goes over.
Do you need a beer?
Sure.
I'm going to get a beer.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
And the filter actually goes over those breather bolts.
Breather bolts, yep. Right.
And then you have hoses, little tubes that either direct it on like my bike, a 15, it directed it closer to the filter. The newer M8s, like we mentioned earlier, it almost pushes it into the intake.
Right.
So you can come up with a hack for that. Instead of that stock backing plate and your stock filter, what guys are doing is they're taking and drilling small holes in the back of the backing plate down below the intake so that it wouldn't interfere. So you had to get down a little bit, and you can get rid of your stock hoses and use aftermarket hose and connect it to the breather bolts, and then run it out of the back of the backing plate. And then the two will come to, you can put the two together with a T and then hook on a catch can, a hose, or a filter. So that would be, I would consider that a hack. You're taking the stock intake and backing plate and filter and all that, and just instead of directing that blowback into the filter / intake, you're going around it to the outside. You're venting it out of the intake. Yeah.
Well said.
Okay. Thank you.
Perfect. I heard none of it.
Yeah,
I was
and-
getting a beer, but that sounds great.
Yeah, it was great.
We're just talking about the stock filter and how to bypass going into the filter end or the intake. You use hoses and go on the outside. Now, if you look at my intake, which is a Vance Hines VO2 naked, the backing plate's quite small.
Little backing plate.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a problem.
And, and the filters, it's a little, instead of being a big oval, it's round, but it uses a stock cover. So it looks like it's stock, but now you can see my breather bolts. They're exposed.
Yes.
So technically on mine, because I'm already outside of it, the hoses go from the breather bolts through a hole in the back of the backing plate and then point it in towards
The air intake right into it, right?
That's how my 13 was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of kits, not just Vance Hines, a lot of kits that are like that. So essentially what I will need to do to get it from going into the intake and the filter is to use different hoses. I would need to pull the hoses from Vance Hines that came with it off, plug the holes where they go into the backing plate so that I don't get air coming through them.
Air and dirt, yeah.
And then I could use a kit. There's companies that make kits, or I could just go down to the local hardware store and get
Build your own.
Yeah, I think it's 1/4 inch if I remember, 1/4 inch or 3/8 fuel line. Put it on there, use a T, and then buy a filter or a catch can. And a lot of guys, what they do is they just bring it down, and bring the T together behind the backing plate so you don't see it.
Sure.
And
Hide it, yeah.
and then they come down out of the T with a short section, and they'll put the filter or catch can right below the intake, the cover. So it looks pretty clean. You can do it where you don't see a whole lot of hoses running all over the place.
You can buy all that at Napa. Like the race car guys, those little filters, they're positive crankcase ventilation valve they get rid of, because those valves on cars stick. And if they stick closed, you get a buildup of pressure, which as the pressure builds, the oil volume increases. It's the same amount of fluid.
The volume does increase when you're ready to blow.
Yeah. I mean, even before, as the pressure
that
increases.
was such a flat face.
Why does he always get off track?
He's
BS.
juvenile.
It totally, yeah, that's dumb.
I'm dumb.
Straight face was the word I was looking for. He did it with such a straight face.
So the race car drivers use these systems so that it just blows out into the environment, but it's on a closed course racetrack.
Right.
So you can go to Napa and buy one of those.
It's safe to screw the environment as long as you're in a racetrack.
Because on a racetrack, the environment has a dome over it.
Right.
That's different. And so it's not
kind of
big.
like COVID when you were safe to take your mask off when you were sitting.
Yeah.
But if you were standing and walking to the door, COVID was rampant.
Everybody knows COVID.
Rampant.
COVID can't stand.
COVID can't stand.
Why don't you sit down?
It's
You're
very
safe.
much.
Sit down or lay down.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're good.
Very much similar. Yes.
The dome over. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So closed course is way different environment.
That's right. It's allowed.
Yeah. I don't know what's happening here, but anyway.
Now there's there's a stock setup, and then there's the aftermarket one. A lot of them are similar. Like my Vance Nines were the breather bolts are exposed, but then there's a third kind, which like you have, Ryan, and I think that was a Harley stage one.
It's a Harley branded stage one
intake, and what they've done is kind of a hybrid of the two. But while your bolts are exposed, they don't vent out the front. It's a solid bolt. But it's solid end.
Yeah, solid end.
Yeah,
but
solid end.
half of it.
Half of it's hollow.
Hollow.
It's hollow to a certain point because what it does is instead of putting in out the end and using tubes, it's got channels.
It's got a metal channel built into the back plate.
And
they come out a little angle.
Just, if I remember right, just above your intake. So it'll either drip down and get sucked in, or it's going to drip down and hit your filter.
And the important thing is when your bolt's exposed that no one under 14 is around.
Correct.
Because if they are, it's a felony.
Right.
But
that's true.
When you expose your bolt to older, it's
Depends
just a
which
misdemeanor.
state you're in.
Oh, good point. Louisiana.
FYI.
That's true.
It's totally
Fair enough. So there's still a way to get around that too, and it's a bit of a hack as well. But what you need to do is plug the holes. You need to switch out your banjo bolt so that you've got exposed. Now you come out the end. Does this make sense?
It is.
So
I'm just visualizing it because I remember going through this, and I am visualizing it. If I look like I'm gonna poop, I have a weird look on my face, but it's because I was visualizing.
You're visualizing his exposed bolt.
I wasn't sure if wasn't sure if I was painting a clear picture.
No, you are.
You were just thinking.
You are.
So you on that intake, like the Harley Stage 1, you would need to take those bolts out and put in new bolts that are hollow all the way through and vent out the end. But then now you've got to solve the problem that you got those
two holes
on the inside.
You still got the hollow bolts with the channels.
Yeah, the aftermarket ones are not aftermarket, but the ones that vent out the end, they're still hollow. Right.
Yep.
But now they're going to vent out the end. If you don't put anything on it, then it's going to just drip out those bolts.
So we've got to plug
you've
those
got to plug the troughs. Channels. Yeah.
I like troughs. That's good. Or channels or troughs.
Troughs.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And so how would one plug those?
Well, there's several ways to do it. You could tap and thread them with a bolt. Probably the most secure way. You could put some JB weld in them if you wanted to.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Yeah. Would you not worry about that JB weld coming loose and going into your intake? That's one of my concerns. You're in the intake, and anything that could degrade over time. That's why I'm almost more sold on the red Loctite and tapping them with a bolt, because those aren't coming out.
Well, I would say that if it did come out, it'd be even worse to suck a small bolt into your motor.
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to come out.
Oh, well, yeah, I don't think the JB weld's coming out either. Yeah,
solid. Even after 10 years,
adheres to metal and shouldn't come out at all.
We've really gone a long ways down the rabbit hole on this.
You could, if you want to go real crazy with it, take the intake off, clean it with some type of degreaser or whatever, alcohol, and then you could even take a small file and just rough it a little bit, and that JB weld will adhere.
I had an 84 XR200. The case, a lot of JB weld on it.
Nice.
Held for a lot of crashes, so I think it's fine.
Hell yeah, you can build a motor out of it.
Lurch warranties it if you use JB Weld that it will not come free. He's a spokesman for JB Weld.
Well, JB Weld themselves, if you've watched commercials, will show you that you can use it for engine repair. So
yes, I believe they say that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the small print, but we don't warranty. Trust me, their attorneys had small print in there.
The warranty does not fall on me. It falls on JB Weld.
Yes, exactly.
And one thing I didn't say at the beginning of talking about your particular setup is your bolts are on the inside of your filter.
Yes.
Okay. So you're going to have to do something similar as the stock filter, where you're going to now hook tubes on the end of that, and then you got to drill 2 holes in the backing plate. Again, make sure they're down below the intake itself, but above where the filter would hit the backing plate.
Yep.
And then you fenced out the back. Two tubes come together behind the backing plate and the cover. Put in a T, and then go down to, again, either
catch can of some sort,
a filter, or vent it to the environment.
Yep.
You could run the tube right up the side of your tank, all the way up, and then just turn it, and then it'll with the hair.
Oh yeah,
the hair. It'll and it moisturizes your skin.
You could just put it right back in your fuel tank.
Or you need
that's what I would do.
Or you need suntan lotion
right back into your fuel tank.
You could cover it all over.
Drill a hole in the side of your fuel tank and
just stuff it right in. Because your fuel tank's vented.
We're doing a video on that shit. Just could you imagine the hits that would get? What the? And just pretend like this is a serious fix and don't say anything. And people, could you imagine the comments? What the fuck? Just a drill right through the side of your tank and run a rubber hose in there, dude.
I'm in. You guys can use my bike. I'm cool.
Oh, dude. We should start doing farce videos like that and just see how many hits they get.
I don't say the brand because we're still working on stuff with them, but There's suspension. There's suspension, full set of suspension coming for your bike. Should be here. I got a confirmation from our guy that it's coming. And
we can't mention yet, but we're going to. It's a German company.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's expensive suspension, but
I think people can figure it out.
They will
with that, but
that's fine. I just want to tease.
Yeah, it's okay. It's on the way here to your house.
We could tell them, but we just don't. We want to do a full, proper video and podcast on it. But it's not like we're under embargo. We're just.
It's the shit.
It is the shit, dude.
Yeah.
I'm excited. So we can, vent
the only
my gas
thing is,
tank and put the suspension on the same day.
And once you have the suspension, you're going to crave sauerkraut every day.
I already do.
It's fucking German, dude.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
And then a big hairy German gal comes out of the trunk, gives me a back rub.
Yep.
I'm half German. I can't stand sauerkraut.
Oh, I love it.
You will after you have that suspension. You're also going to want wieners, but that's nothing new.
But big ones.
You're going to crave wieners.
Well, right now I just like the little ones.
Sausages.
But the big
large
sausages.
fat sausages.
Oh, big fat sausages, yeah. With the sheath on them. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Cheesy kielbasa.
Bratwurst.
This is dumb. All right.
This is dumb.
We got to do this real quick, and then we're going to, we got a little bit more to talk about here. Lurch.
Ride longer and treat your ass with some respect already.
Oh, that ass.
Get hooked up with a premium butt buffer seat cushion. This company of bikers develop a super thin hospital-grade seat cushion made of solid and elastic materials. And unlike gel pads, it won't leak if punctured. The butt buffer is designed not to slide around your seat, fits all motorcycles, installs in seconds, easily cleans up, and helps dampen those damn vibrations.
Oh, my ass hurts.
Good.
With plenty of models to choose from, they assure you'll have a comfortable ass when riding. Head on over to the Law Abiding Biker store and check out our full line of butt buffer seat cushions.
Treat my ass.
Nice job, Matthew.
Last time he was doing that, about the third one, I started laughing. I couldn't.
You held strong, bro. Those are
that ass talk.
Those are mad.
Well, I knew you were taking it as a
dude.
challenge to break me.
I was, dude. I was. I can usually break him, dude.
Yeah.
Give him beer. It calms him down. Got to stop doing that. Last time we were drinking coffee. It's Friday, late afternoon. We're having a beer. We have been podcasting and drinking coffee in your honor.
Yeah,
you know when
absolutely.
we're getting old because...
Well, it's usually morning. And we have a long work day ahead
too
of us.
early to have a beer.
But it's Friday and it's late afternoon. I'm like, we're going to drink. It's been a while since I drank a beer on a podcast.
But let's face it. I mean, not too long ago, whether it was morning or night, didn't really matter. If we drank a bunch of beer.
There was a day that we were younger.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like 5 years ago. Or
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We were doing them on the weekends, a lot of them. But yes. So we have, drink coffee for sure.
It's delicious.
Do you want to talk about, we're going to put some affiliate links like Lurch mentioned earlier, lawabidingbiker.com/whatever episode number this is how you can get affiliate links. So some of these kits, and then you can correct me if I'm wrong, Lurch, but I remember looking at these with you when we were preparing and researching. It's kind of an easy way. When we're looking at here, this is an affiliate link, no additional cost to you, but if you do click through these links, we do get a small commission. This one happens to be from J&amp Cycles, and you're looking at $55 here in the US. And this is the one with the two catch cans. They look like pistons. This is the one you talked about. So it's got the bolts, it's got the washers. That would be a super easy fix.
But that would have to be on an intake with a backing plate like mine where your bolts are exposed so you can put those cans on, let them hang down.
So make sure you check and make sure, And a lot of these aren't going to have like a lot of fitment information because they're kind of universal. It's kind of up to you to figure out what you have and what you need. That's why I think our video will be helpful for a lot of folks. Here's another one from J&amp Cycles. I had 1.5 and 3/8 breather bolt kit. This one's $49.
And that's essentially going to do the same thing. You're going to have exposed breather bolts, but those just don't have the pistons. You would hook hose to that.
Gotcha. And it kind of comes with, the bolts, the hollow bolts and all that. Where's the kit I'm looking for? Here's the braided, hose crank. That's what I'm looking for. So this one's $69. This is probably the one that's most universal. It's got a steel braided line. It's got whatever those are called in the end. I forget. You can put over the where the bolts go, and you can channel the oil down the hose, and it's got a chrome, real nice looking filter. Of course, you're gonna have to run the braided line somewhere, but it is braided. Looks pretty cool. It can be a look. I've seen some of the bikes with it. You can kind of run that line where you want.
You're connecting one breather bolt to the other, and then only one line coming down. So it can be a little bit more streamlined. Like you said, it's chrome, so it looks pretty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks pretty, and you're catching that oil. And I assume I didn't do any research on that, but those oil catchers are washable, or do you have to just buy new ones, or they just look like they're washable?
Yeah, washable filter.
So you can just wash it every once in a while. I don't know how long they last. Like I say, my Wimmer I had, I wish it would have lasted a lot longer. But again, the only downside is some oil on the side of your bike, and then I would just clean it. But that it's not going to like ruin anything. But that's, so if you want the easy route, I'm thinking like that $69 kit or something like that. Of course, if you're handy and you want to piece it out, you could certainly piece out that a lot cheaper at the hardware store. You could even get braided line.
Sure. If you want to.
Or like you say at the auto parts store, you can buy the little filters. If you want to do steel braided line, you could, you could have some fun with it and have kind of a unique look or something to talk about for sure. People are like, what the hell is that? Never seen that on a Harley.
With mine, with the VO2 naked, I would need simply some hose and tee and a filter. It'd be really cheap.
If you didn't want any look,
right?
You could do some braided line,
the steel braided
and
line,
run a catch can somewhere if you wanted people to see the catch can. Right, you could. But if you just wanted to solve the problem and you didn't care about aesthetics, you could hide it all pretty much behind your right. Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
And
absolutely.
the ensuing horsepower gain and gas mileage would pay for the kit in the first week.
The fact that you wouldn't have to rebuild your engine because of oil buildup on your piston heads, it would just be worth every penny. I mean,
it's almost financially responsible to do it.
Yes.
Faster, bigger, stronger.
There are other kits. You can do your own research. Bob Dawson in the private Facebook group did this, and he used a particular kit. We don't have an affiliate with them, but you'll find them. There's, and honestly, the kit from our affiliate link looks like it's just as good. So there are guys doing it in the private Facebook group and have talked about it. So it's, I don't know the ratio, but there are a lot of guys that do it. And then there's a lot of guys that don't do it. But we hope we gave you the information at least that you can make a decision whether this is something you want to do or take on. And then, of course, I think we'll have a lot of fun with it, Lurch, when we get the parts in our hand and kind of do a very universal video to explain it and give people the options, because as long as it's around, there are going to be people, obviously, that want to do that. Oscar, what else do you have on this? Anything?
Some in our truck application, those crankcase filters are like $250. So
why is it so much more in a diesel? Just because
they're huge. I mean,
why do they have to be so big? Are you blowing more oil? I mean, I don't understand this with this whole diesel thing.
A lot of oil and higher compression and more torque.
There's a lot more oil in diesel motor.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
But I mean, so not on ours, the newer trucks, it's tougher. But on the older, like 2015 and older, guys would delete it and do the catch can because it saves you over the life of the truck a ton of money.
Yeah.
So I get that, but on the Harleys, I don't know. I never did it, and I don't know. I'd spend the money on gas.
Dude wipes.
And dude wipes, yeah.
Make your marriage better.
Way better. Yeah.
That's more important
I think
than oil on your pipe. Lurch, what else do you have on this that you want to wrap up?
I was just thinking about.
No, geez, you looked at me like I was like, you didn't hear a word I just said.
I did. But he said oil on his pipe. So
right. That saves your marriage too, though.
Glad to have anything on his pipe at his age.
Damn it,
Lurch.
I'm getting phone calls. I have.
Okay, do you have anything for the podcast?
I was distracted by the phone call.
Geez. He is not a multitasker. I've learned that about him. I'm not lying. Like, it is not. I don't know how he got by, dude.
But look at him. He gets by on his good looks.
That's because he just closed his door in his office all the time. One thing at a time.
That's right.
Yep. Taking a nap, kids.
I'm not that guy that's got 20 projects in his yard started that never get finished. I start one thing and I get it finished.
He is.
I focus on stuff.
He's very set in his old man ways.
Oh, geez, super old.
No, I'll just end it by saying that. Just reiterating what I said before. Do I think it's a big problem? No. Is it easy to solve for the most part? Yes. Just don't overfill your motor. And if you want to put it on, go ahead.
Slap it on.
This is America.
It's not going to
do what you want.
America.
It's not an expensive fix. It's not going to hurt your motor, and it could potentially help. So if you want to do it, go ahead.
Yeah.
It's a great conversation starter.
Good job.
If not, just like I said, service your bike, get on and ride the shit out of it.
Farkling is for metric bikes, not Harleys. I'm going to come across this table. I will.
Oh, no, I'm bringing it over.
Knock your tooth right. It's not coming over
because
there's no farkling.
The metric guys are going to get pissed at me that I'm using.
Yeah,
Farkle.
they want to keep it, and they can have it. They can have it.
That's all they got. No, I'm teasing.
It's fine.
Yeah,
it's a big thing.
We love metric bikes.
We do.
I'm looking at one right now at my shop, Kawasaki KLR 6.
I have an Austrian bike now.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, that can go with my German suspension.
Oh, dude.
I wonder if they'll make a little.
Do you like kraut?
Yes.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
It's delicious.
I didn't like it when I was a kid, and I have a lot of German in me.
Yeah.
But in my older age, dude,
I love it.
a good kraut. Oh,
I'll say
on
this.
a big fat wiener.
Oh,
I'll say this.
Oh, yeah. Dude.
I've had homemade like kraut.
Juicy wiener.
There's a restaurant over in Olympia, and it's aptly named the German Diner. But she
Very
makes
clever.
Yeah, she makes homemade real kraut. That I like. The problem is I grew up on that shit that was in like a jar or can.
Yeah,
it's just fucking horrible.
Have you had a homemade giant wiener?
No,
to
have
go
not
with
had
the
that.
kraut.
He's had a lot of
think
wieners. They're not homemade though.
I have stuffed some sausage before in the past. Yeah, smoked some sausage. Yeah, absolutely. Ground some pork and stuffed some casings and smoked some sausage.
Yeah, buddy. It's dumb.
I haven't laughed this hard in a podcast in quite a while.
You caught us on a Friday night.
Holy
That's what.
cow.
It's Friday. Happy
Very
Friday.
funny. Yeah.
What are you going to do as we ended up here? This is off topic, but you're 22 Ultra Limited.
21.
Or sorry, 21 Ultra Limited.
Yeah.
It's CVO.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's decked out, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
You still loving it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Anything
Put knobby
to it?
tires on it.
Whatever, dude.
It's a CVO. What do you need to do to it?
Well, the stupid irony about that is it's locked down. So I can't get a tuner for it, which means I'm not going to do any motor work to
You
it.
can do an FP4, but that's
What do you
only
mean?
stage one.
Yeah, and that's stupid.
What do you mean locked down?
I can't, no one's making a tuner
Got you right.
anymore. So all the cool motor stuff
They
I
are.
might have done.
We sell the FP3.
No,
Not
FP4. FP3 won't fit.
It's 20. Ends at 20.
Ends at 20.
Okay. I thought we had FP3s for the newer. They just don't.
We have
It ends at 20.
FP4s,
Yeah, FP4.
FP. Thank you. Well, that's
Yeah.
what I meant. We have a solution
which
for it.
will allow you to do stage
Do
one.
certain
But the guy that
things.
wants to do cams, and
I
stuff,
gotcha.
it's
I
not-
would have done
yeah.
cams. It's probably what I would
Okay,
have done.
this is good to.
You're probably gonna have
a little
to
extra content here.
find a techno research probably.
Maybe
to flash
Dyno-
it.
maybe DynoJet.
DynoJet might, but we've done it in a podcast on the EPA
Yeah,
and
right.
tuners, and
They're coming.
they're probably coming for DynoJet too.
Yeah, so it's like
they are.
Vance and Hines and Harley got hit. Those big ones.
Yep. And I mean, honestly, it runs fantastic. It has plenty of
Yeah, it's got the
horsepower.
117, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a ripper.
So I mean,
Oh yeah, that's what the ST had in it when I reviewed the ST.
Do you need more? Probably not. Do you
No.
want more? Absolutely.
Always.
I rode Daryl's and he's got the 122 and it was better, so maybe that down the road, I'll do the 122 top end for it, but it's a great bike.
So you're kind of stuck with those new bikes
kind of stuck. Yeah.
on right now, especially till things get ironed out. We're not going to get into a whole nother topic on
No.
this. We've talked about
Yeah.
it. We are selling FP3s and the new FP4s.
Get those FP3s while you can because
Yes.
we grabbed up what we could.
Yep. They are going to be gone.
they
And
are.
if you've ever thought about making changes to your bike or tuning it, if it's pre-20, I would get a FP3 stick in your hand now. We do have them in stock, but like I said, it was
When they're
slim
gone, they're
pickings and
gone.
we ordered up a bunch from different places to try to have them for guys because you can still do a lot of tuning with those. But like Oscar says, again, all over in the Law Abiding Biker store, just search for F Fuel Pack or FP3 or FP4 over there and we'll get them shipped out to you. So
I got to do bars. So
Yep.
we have to do bars on it.
Oh, absolutely.
So
yeah,
sometime,
We'll
probably in the
record that.
fall.
Yeah.
Okay.
When
Fall's great.
riding season's about over, I'll bring it over and we'll do bars.
Intake, exhaust, or are you going to leave it with the Screaming Eagle stuff for now?
Yeah, I think it's
Okay.
going to be fine.
right.
You're getting old. I'm really not so excited about any louder exhaust.
I agree. Yeah, the older you get, the quieter
Right.
it's
Yeah,
better.
totally.
As long as it's got the sound.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I look forward to doing bars. What are you going to do? Some mini apes of some kind?
I think I'm going to do some kind of 12.
12. Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice, bro.
Keep below the fairing. Getting old as shit, dude.
Yep.
Sucks.
Keep it below the fairing.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to. Yeah.
Attaboy. Smart move.
I had 12s on my 08 Street Glide, and it was below the fairing, about as high as you can get, and still be below the fairing.
What are stocks? 10s?
10 maybe.
10s, yeah, I think so.
I think it's about 10.
I had 13s on my 13, and it was just
You're up over.
just over.
just
up
at the
over.
top. And yeah.
You'll get your knuckles and
Get cold.
fingers.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, so probably do a 12. Maybe next October or something.
Cool.
Yeah.
We'll get it on the lift.
I'm all jacked up on dirt bikes from our last episode. If you I don't know which one's coming out first, but make sure you listen to our dirt bike episode, and because Oscar got a new bike, and now I want to go listen to these I'm going to go watch some 2-stroke videos tonight.
Oh, they're awesome.
I'm going to get all drunked up and
just
watch
2-stroke the shit out of it.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
Tell my wife, just turn it up loud.
Oh, honey.
Like 3 a.m.
Yeah,
Whiskey,
2-stroke. Oh.
half in the bag, just fucking, just playing videos and shit. See how long that lasts.
Now this will be second because you mentioned the other one. So there you go.
Oh, it doesn't matter when you put them out.
It would just be weird if we were saying, hey, I don't know if you've heard this one, and it's coming out after it. So
That's how we do.
It don't matter.
I've already
keep 'em
decided.
guessing.
Hey,
We're off track.
He is the producer.
podcast producer.
It's true.
It's coming out.
true.
This one will come
Attaboy.
out second.
All right, there you
Just
go.
remember this about dirt bikes. Everything that you want to do on your Harley, you can legally do on your dirt bike on the dirt.
Yeah, true.
Wheelies, super high speed,
Crashing. Fair enough.
Whiskey throttles,
whiskey throttle all over, and you can send it
the Brup.
and still go over and get it and ride it.
Yep.
Because it'll crash, but it'll be in the dirt. It'll be okay.
True that. Now,
then.
Oscar, I do have this that I want to tell you.
Okay.
Now, this is serious
Super
as
serious.
we end this episode. Now, we would love to have you as a
not over
patron
yet.
member. We'd love to have you as a patron member because we want to get to meet you. We want you in the private Facebook group talking about stuff just like this and getting help from people. But for whatever reason, you don't want benefits. You don't want to meet us and get close to us. And the only way you want to support us is through a flat donation. We never bought at a flat donation. Oscar wants to thank the following people for flat donations.
Flat donations from Cody Hobbs of Paragould, Arkansas. Jason Despain of Crestview, Florida. And Jason's also a patron.
I think Cody is too, actually. We read an email
we
from
did?
him.
Yeah.
Yes, we just
Okay.
made that connection.
Missed it.
Thank
They
you,
doubled it.
Cody.
Thanks for the flat donation. And Gary McCartan of Henderson, Nevada.
lawabidingbiker.com/donate is the link you go to, or the homepage of our website, lawabidingbiker.com. There's a donate button there. Helps put a little fuel in the Law Abiding Biker gas tank.
So we can keep this bitch running on down the road.
There you go, guys. We really appreciate you being here. Sorry we're so immature, but we ain't changing.
I'm
And
not
that's
immature.
just life.
That's you two.
I think you and I are average immature. He's like extra.
Extra.
Well said.
Extra.
Well
mature.
said.
He's like a
I take
15-year-old.
the compliment. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's not an insult. It's a compliment for you.
I'll never grow up. Thanks for being here, guys. We really appreciate it. We had a ball. We did record 2 episodes today. And again, your patron members, we're going to upload them ASAP into the back end of your patron account so you can hear these things months before the regular listening audience. All right. Here's the dealio. We talk a lot about Bug Slide, which is our waterless motorcycle cleaner. It's what we use on our entire police bike fleet. Oscar used it on his police motorcycle. It's all we use most of the time for those in-between cleans. But here's the deal. Once in a while, you just get real dirty. You get her real dirty. And you know what? It just needs a wet wash. Well, this is what I use, especially after our big trips, because you know what? Trashed with bugs. You might have a little oil from blowback.
Might have some
This
rain and road debris. stuck to it. Yeah. dirt.
Blowback. Straight up blowback because you didn't put a catch can on. Well, here's the deal. You can clean it up real easy, like Bike Bright Spray Motorcycle Cleaner and Degreaser. Motorcycle wet wash. That is our go-to. It's what I use on our police fleet too. Absolutely the best wet wash motorcycle cleaner on the market, guaranteed. It's why we carry it in our store. Tried and tested right here by the Law Abiding Biker crew. It's our #1 go-to wet wash motorcycle cleaner solution. It's super foaming triple action formula. Gets in all the cracks and crevices because sometimes the wet wipe, the dude wipe will get it, but you still sometimes just need a wet wash.
The crack holds some stuff sometimes.
It does. It does. I mean, good maintenance wipe, but here you go. You know what, Oscar?
Tell
we gotta
me.
clean those because we don't like those dirty cracks and crevices.
No dirty crevices.
Nobody does. Easy as pie. Spray it on, let it soak, and rinse it off, Bikeaholics. That's why I use it. It's so damn easy. That's right. That way you can clean your bike quickly and get out there and spend some more time freaking riding, Bikeaholics. Check out our whole line of bike products because we have other stuff like bag stuff for your bags. And we've got Moto Black to that wrinkle coat on your motor that gets faded. You can blacken it up and make it look brand new. We have a plethora of products over there from Bike Bright. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store and get hooked up with all your cleaning and detail needs. Big Daddy Cane and Goat have it in stock, ready to ship to you direct right now. It's very affordable. And while you're over there, because when you wet wash it, you want to keep it clean in between. You want a little maintenance. Like the Dude Wipe, you need a maintenance wipe spray for your bike. And that's going to come in the form of Bug Slide Waterless Motorcycle Cleaner. So pick that up while you're there. Again, these things are very affordable cleaners. There's some crazy stuff on the market out there. $60 a bottle of stuff. And trust me, you're getting a little ripped off, I think. So those are making your bike no cleaner than Bike Bright and Bug Slide. Thanks for listening. Love y'all.
Use that bike bag on your hot tub cover. Works great.
Nice. We're out.